Hello everybody, my name is No Particular and welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about helmet setup, so let's get into it. Now, in this video I'll be going over my helmet setup. I've already kind of covered helmet setups, but in my last video I kind of just sort of brushed over what I was actually running, and I'd like to give you all in detail why I run what I run. So, start off the bat, this is a Combat Tactical, I believe, bump helmet that I got from DK Airsoft. I'll leave a link down to it in the description below if he still has it in stock. I had, in the first video, I had an Emerson bump helmet with the actual holes, so I technically guess a fast helmet. However, I wasn't a big fan of it. I kind of wanted something that was a little bit more similar to what I ran for real steel for work. So I kind of, I don't know, upgraded, maybe side graded, just kind of changed to this style of helmet, and I can't really notice the difference, to be honest. It's just in the shape of the helmet, can't really tell any difference, no any more or any less comfortable than the last. It's just something that's different. So, right off the bat, I will be starting from front to back. Yes, these are fake. I'm not willing to pay, no, I just can't pay the 10 grand or less, technically, like 6 to 10 grand of dollars that it takes for me to get dual nods. However, if somebody wants to see me dual nods, hit me up and work something out. And then, so I got these from AliExpress along with the actual battery pack mount. We'll get to that in a second. And they just look cool. And whenever you fold them inside, they do turn these little green LED lights on. So that's great. And then I also got this. So I got the actual NVGs from AliExpress, but I did get this from Amazon. This came in clutch, especially because I got this in 1 day shipping and I had a game in 2 days. So that was nice. The actual mount that came with this with the nod setup was a Rhino mount that was similar to the something you would see for a PVS 14, so a single nod. And what was wrong with that though is that the PVS 31s, I think these are, aren't as thick or aren't as tall as the PVS 14s. So when I was wearing, actually technically they're taller if the nods are down. So with the other mount, it would have the nods sitting here on my actual cheeks and not at my eyes where it should be. So I just bought this. I think it was $100, I think, which is it's a solid mount. So this thing is all metal. The only piece of plastic that's on here is actually it's just this one single arm, and then this thing, and then this angle arm as well. And then of course everything folds up and everything, adjustment and everything that you would normally see on a G24 mount. And then the bungee cords that actually are from the arc rails that came with the helmet are just attached to the nods themselves. So that is nice. I'm a big fan of these nods simply for the fact that they look really cool for me. So yeah, and then moving on towards the back, I do have an evike.com. I really hope all of this is in frame and focus. An evike.com Cthulhu patch, because I'm not putting an actual political party on my helmet. Nope. And then so the actual, for the back, we're moving on the helmet cover. I did get this off of AliExpress too. The original Emerson helmet, actually never mind. I was about to say the original Emerson helmet came from AliExpress. It didn't actually, it came from Evike, or Evike technically. No, Evike, sorry, it's Evike. And so this is just that olive drab with this black mesh and then Velcro in these certain places. And then the Velcro also runs all the way to the back as well. What sucks though on the helmet though is the Velcro is coming a little bit undone. I have tried to loosen this as much as possible, but I can't seem to find the right helmet to fit this cover. So we're kind of, it's iffy at the moment. So modifications are being made and currently in progress. So to kind of get this thing to fit more properly. If not, I'll just get a new helmet cover. This thing was like $15, I don't really care. And then on the top is the Foxhole Airsoft patch. It is the same team that these two patches are from. So all three of these are from my first Airsoft team from Foxhole Airsoft in Kansas. Oops. And so I always gotta represent the home team, I guess. So yeah, and then moving on to the sides, I do have a Bald Bros and Forward Observations Group leather Queen Anne's Revenge. They're kind of fog, so instead of the heart, it's the actual F. And then I do have the big one here, and then I do have two more of them right there. I have the original one that's a 2x3, and then the blacked out one. A funny fact, the blacked out one is the first ever thing I ever got from Fog. So that was, so that's staying there always. And then on this side, I do have an actual IR American flag because it looks cool. And then on the sides, if you've noticed, these are the same Tac Sky Contact 2 or 3s that I've always been running. And then I do have some sticky female Velcro on the sides of these as well, just to allow for more patch space and whatnot, just to make it look a little bit cooler, especially if I'm running something like just a ball cap and the actual helmet band, or the actual headband for the ear probe themselves, so I can throw just a little more patch space on it too. And then moving to the full-on back is the dead light that I've attached to it. These are super helpful in low light, no light conditions, just for the fact of it's light to indicate, hey, I'm dead, don't shoot me, shoot purely because you see movement, because that's what always happens. Because people can't see in the dark unless they do have NVGs, and even then you need to identify yourself as not playing, as hit and dead, so don't shoot you anymore. And then also a Tac Hunt Fish little mini patch, just because I like their company, they make good shorts. Figured I'd buy a patch. And then the back, so this is the battery pack that came with the nods, as well as a wire to allow them to run from the battery pack to the actual nods. It didn't do anything, it was a piece of plastic. I actually don't know where it went. I think it got lost in the move, whatever. But originally this was just an empty plastic case that you could open to reveal nothing. But instead I took 4 dead AA batteries over time that I just died from my Xbox controller and whatnot. And I wrapped them like once or twice in electrical tape, and I threw them in here as a small counterweight from the nods in the back. And as you can tell, it's a decent balance from front to back. I'm a big fan of it. I thought that was kind of ingenious. A little bit of a brush off on your shoulder kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of the overview of the helmet. Why would you decide to run a helmet? Well, first off, they protect your head. I know actually a lot of milsims, in order to even touch a vehicle, you need to be wearing a helmet. And that can be anything from, I've actually seen people carry around bicycle helmets because they're rated for impacts and stuff, to actual real steel helmets, which makes sense. You would run a helmet for like GoPro mounting. So I do know that, I think it's Silo Entertainment that has Brain Exploder, sorry. That actually has a baseball cap mount for a GoPro. However, that has its own problems. A helmet-mounted GoPro has always been like the tried and true, like the #1 thing that everyone decides to do. So that's always super popular to do, especially for the fact that you can always run, instead of a counterweight pouch, you can run a battery pack, and then just have a cable running all the way up to the GoPro camera, because GoPro batteries do not last that long for shooting of any quality that's any good. Another thing is headset mounting. You can run a headset normally like this, and you can. They're certainly very effective, and I think everyone should at least have some form of ear pro, whether it be for comms or just simply for hearing protection, because they're your ears. You don't get your hearing back. That's not how that works. Kind of. Not only the fact that they do look cool on a helmet, just saying, it's also for the fact of you can run comms, but I do know that a lot of these companies, like even like Tac Sky that are knockoffs, do have, I would never wear these real steel shooting, but they do have electronic hearing protection. So if anything reaches over a decibel level, it actually cuts out all outside noise for just a little bit till the decibel reading goes back down. I would never wear these real steel shooting. No. I would much rather just wear standard over-the-ear, non-electronic things for shooting over these, simply for the fact of those are actually rated, not these. Just don't. For the love of God, if you're gonna actually shoot with electronic ear probe, buy actual, like Peltor's, Swordens, I know Pelican, I think, has their own set of ear pro. And of course you got like Smith & Wesson, I think, also comes out with their own set of ear pro as well. Use those, please. Don't use Airsoft ear pro. That's how you lose your hearing at the age of 35. Just saying. Then of course you always have the ability to run comms in the back. Are comms useful in Airsoft? It's a whole another video I'm gonna go over. The 2-word answer I have right now is it depends. Wait for another video to drop. I'll kind of explain my reasoning. So yeah, deadlight's pretty obvious. Patch space, of course, because you do look cool with a helmet on. And then of course, once you throw patches on, you look even cooler, because 95% of Airsoft is looking really cool. So you do have that option. Also for the fact that you can remove the ear pro as well without needing to take the entire thing off. So if I did still want to listen to comms, I could just simply since I know these arc rails do, I know not every single kind of arc rails do. You can snap these to where they're actually against your head, and then if you need to be, you can kind of clip them off, and then so that way you can still listen to comms or let your ears breathe, depending. So those are always nice as well. And then of course, they do also help identify. So if you're running like a tan versus green team and you have a green helmet cover, it's a lot easier to tell if that's all they see of your head, so they don't know if you're friendly or not. So it's also good for team identification or enemy identification as well. So yeah, that's my helmet setup. If you have any more tips, tricks, or any like recommendations or some things to check out, let me know. I'm tempted to look into the Cry airframe, not an actual Cry, an actual airframe setup. I'm tempted to look into those. However, at this time, this is pretty much what I've been running for a minute. I certainly enjoy it, but I'm always looking for upgrades, looking for tips, recommendations, and whatnot. Of course, more videos are coming out soon. Just let me know if y'all would like to see anything in specific. Thanks. Also, for those of you that stay to the end, I want you, if you're here right now, I want you to put Ghost in the comments. Not from COD, but for these little dudes. Put Ghost in the comments if you're here to the end. Thanks.